today's meeting. I welcome all the Toastmasters and my dear guests. There are 3 ground rules for today's meeting. I am going to summarize these 3 ground rules. First of all, it's a virtual meeting, so I request all of you to please mute your mobile phones so that others won't distract from this meeting, from your cell calls. Second one is, because it's a virtual meeting, and I request all of you to not move too much because it will distract the others. And the third ground rule in Toastmasters, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics. In your talks, please avoid these things. And I'll read out the mission for the Toastmasters. We at Toastmasters provide supportive and positive learning experience by which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The theme for today's meeting is Connect, Count Your Blessing. Our perception define our thoughts. Let me introduce to the presiding officer for today's meeting. I know her for past 4 years. She's a passionate Toastmaster. Of course, many of us doesn't recognize her through surname. We call her as Toastmaster Siona. She's super energetic and she believes in continuous learning and improvement. So let me hand over to Toastmaster Siona, the presiding officer for today's meeting. Toastmaster Siona.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopal. It's a privilege to be the presiding officer and the Toastmaster of the day today. I'm playing the double role for the first time. I mean, after a long time. Thank you, Gopal, for this warm introduction. And it's good to know that I am known as a Toastmaster and not by my name or surname. And yes, we discussed this morning and we were counting our blessings. Gopal and myself, we work in the same office. And we were, after a meeting, we tried to find out what are the blessings, what are the challenges, and how can we improve. That's what learning is all about. So a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Myron and Dr. Pramod, and our awesome members. It looks like we just started the club, right? But today is the 12th meeting and we are doing so well. I want you to pat your back. Can you do that? Yes. Why did we do that? Because we are making this journey an amazing journey and being a blessing to one another. Do you agree with me? Yes.
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 Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Good. So we have Myron as a guest and Dr. Pramod. So could we have you introduce yourself to us, your name and what brings you here? Myron, you can go ahead.
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can't see you, Dr. Pramod.
I'm sitting in my gallery. It's dark.
Okay. All right.
I'm an audience. I
Okay.
met you. I'm a Toastmaster. And I heard there is a Mangalorean there. I used to be a member of Inspiron Toastmasters Club in Mangalore, where I had completed my 10 series speeches. And then I moved to Goa, count my blessings. I'm enjoying my life here in beautiful weather. And I also completed with MAPSA Toastmasters, because in the beginning, I used to be part of YMCA Toastmasters Club,
Oh,
then ICG. I have met you before. You may not recognize because I'm sitting in the dark.
yeah.
But Toastmasters, once a Toastmasters, always a
All
Toast.
right.
Simple as that. I'm enjoying this virtual meeting because I cannot attend physically.
Right.
but I happen to be charter member of MAPSA Toastmasters and Parvari Toastmasters.
Okay, that's nice.
That's that.
That's nice. Good to have you back. Are you active Toastmaster anyway, Dr. Pramod?
No. I gave up. Once I graduated, I'm applying my skills everywhere.
Okay. Okay. We'll be happy to have you back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we have Myron introduce himself?
Well, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. Well, good evening to all of you here. My name is Myron, and I live or reside in Calvi, Aldona. I'm come here for one of these meetings for the first time. Mainly, as I told earlier, I've been convinced by one of my friend, and now teaching in the university, Mr. Anthony. So he was always convincing me to join this and make it a learning experience. So I have no clue about what really happens here. So since this is my first time, so I'm all ready to learn and make the best out of this meeting. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Myron. You must know, I do not know whether you know that Anthony is also the president of the club. Did he mention that?
No, he did not.
Okay. You can surprise him when you meet him next. Tell him that you know about it. Okay, let me give you a brief of Toastmasters. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. Headquartered in Englewood, the organization is spread across 145 countries in more than 16,200 clubs, with a membership exceeding 364,000, out of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of us are here. Okay. So since 1924, Toastmasters International has helped people from diverse backgrounds become more confident speakers, communicators, and leaders. In Goa, we have 10 clubs, and 8 of them are corporate, and 8 of them are community clubs, and 2 are corporate clubs. We belong to a division called Division W, and under the area director, Nigel Gomes. Okay, so this is just a brief of.
Thank you.
We will give you more information when the VP membership. The speaker of the day, he's going to get in touch with you and give you more information. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the meeting. So I have a question now to everybody. When you saw or read the poster, what caught your attention? Use the chat window and tell me. Was it the half wing or the full smile? The wing, okay? The wing. The wing, okay? More, I want more. Shivani wing, okay? So everybody saw the wing. Doesn't matter. There was also a broad smile that Minal told us to look at. And this is what we miss out on. That's the reason we have this title, the theme, Count Your Blessings. And we are going to learn how to do it during the entire meeting, okay? Did you know that when you think what you are grateful for, you are actually counting your blessings. So the process of counting your blessings starts from your thinking. Louis Hay tells us that counting your blessings is one of the most powerful practice you can ever do. And it will magically turn your whole life around. And believe me, it does. Let's try something now. Sit straight, relax. Okay. Just close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. And with a grateful heart, just be thankful for the first three things that you can think of. Now, let's share with one another. You can either unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. Just at least one thought or one thing that came to your mind. Go on, go on. Actually, you can unmute everyone if you require that. It may take some time for everyone to put it on the chat.
Oh, can I say something?
Yes, yes, please. I'm
Oh,
waiting.
my education.
Education, okay. Good food. Saurabh. Clifford for his beautiful smile.
being for being healthy and alive.
Yeah, okay.
But I would die with COVID last week, but I did not have COVID.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Grateful to be alive. Yeah.
Yeah,
And healthy.
healthy. See, I'm sure you something must have crossed your mind, and that's what you are thankful for. That's what you're grateful for, and we are going to count such blessings every moment. Be aware, okay? All of us, human as we are, have attributes which we have inherited from within. Some of them are physical, psychological, and practical. All of them are blessings for those around us. I have identified a few, and the flow of the meeting, we will refer to them as blessings. All right? Part of the attributes of this meeting today are the first initial three role players here who are going to help me to run this meeting. The first one, the prettiest thing you can ever wear or you are never fully dressed without is a smile. The first attribute today is the grammarian, is the smile, Toastmaster Saurabh. So I asked him, how has your smile been a blessing to others in your life? And he says, smile is contagious and people mirror your expressions. My smile has helped my co-workers and friends realize that smiling can help you get through stressful moments and you become efficient at everything you do. So, Saurabh, can you give us this broad smile and explain your role? Please unmute yourself. We can't hear you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Toastmasters Fiona. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as a grammarian today is pay attention to the language that we use today and provide with the constructive criticism for improvement. And meanwhile, I will introduce you to the word for the day. The word for the day is endow, E-N-D-O-W, which means to provide with quality, ability, or asset. For example, he was endowed with tremendous physical strength. I urge everyone to use this word frequently, as I'll be making note of the words of the words that are being used by the role players, and I'll be providing with the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh. The next role player is the R counter. Stop listening to reply and start listening to understand. Toastmaster Minal is the second attribute playing the role of the R counter. So I asked her, she's just accepted to be the R counter. So I'm asking her this question. Share an incident or anything you can remember of the use of sense of hearing as a blessing in your life.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fiona, for that question. The only thing that ever comes to my mind if I count my blessing of hearing is I'm by the beach and the waves. The very feeling of the sound of the waves and the feeling of calmness that it leads into my mind is something that I'm definitely grateful for. So as your R counter for today, my role would be to keep a track of certain words that help you better your speech, but if you use them too often, they act like crutch words. Has it ever happened to you that while speaking, you're suddenly stuck for words? And in that moment, you hesitate, use certain pause words, or maybe end up and with certain words as well. That's the kind of crutch words that I'll be keeping a track of today. And at the end of the meeting, when called upon, I will present my report. Over to you, Toastmaster Siona.
Thank you, Toastmaster Minal. You know, for a second, I was wondering what is wrong with Minal today? Because that's not Minal. So she's going to keep a track of these R's and ums for all of us. So the next attribute is the attribute of respect. This is what I feel, and time is one of the most important things. Okay, time has wonderful ways of showing us what really matters. The third attribute is the timer. May I request Toastmaster Aliro? Okay, I asked him, one thing that can never be recycled is wasted time. He says, making the right decision at the right time, he grabbed the opportunity to donate blood during his friend's father's surgery. This is a precious moment, he says, he will always cherish. Toastmaster Aliro, every blood donor is a hero, and you are a hero today. Please explain your role.
Toastmaster of the day is Siona. So greetings, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I will time the table topic speakers, the educational session, the formal speeches, and the evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left. I'll be using the green cards, the yellow card, and the red card, which denote specific time remaining. So for the table topic speakers, I will flash the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and at 2 minutes, I will flash the red card. For the speakers who are speaking today, I will they have a time limit of 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will be flashing the green card, and at 6 minutes, I will be flashing the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I will be flashing the red card. And for the educational session, which will be around 30 to 45 minutes, I will be flashing the green card at 30 minutes, the yellow card at 40 minutes, and the red card at 45 minutes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aliro. Now, every Toastmasters meeting has a wondrous outcome. It's a blessing in itself because we speak. Guest Myron, this is what we do. We listen, we speak, we laugh, and we learn. These are parts of the meeting that bring us together as a family. So a regular Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is the prepared speech segment. The members deliver speeches by preparing themselves according to the objectives of the path that they have chosen. The second segment is the table topics segment, or the impromptu speaking segment, where one gets an opportunity to think on the feet. And the third segment is like an educational session or the evaluation segment, where all the speakers are provided with constructive feedback to improve their journey as Toastmasters. Today, we are also going to have an educational session by the distinguished Toastmaster, Ravi Teja. All right, so let's begin with the first segment, the prepared speech segment. And we have just one speaker, Toastmaster Abrar. So I asked him, don't just count your blessings, be the blessing that people count on. How would he spread love, warmth, and affection around him to be a blessing to others? So what he says is by being empathetic and honest with others, because being truthful is the shortest way to cut the excuses and help them achieve their goals. Very nice. May I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Rishabh, to read the objectives?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Abrar has chosen the path of visionary communication. The purpose of his speech is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. He will be speaking for a duration of 5 to 7 minutes. The title of his speech is My $1 Million Investment. Toastmaster Abrar, please go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh. Toastmaster Abrar, my $1 million investment. My $1 million investment, Toastmaster Abrar.
I would just like to check my audio and video, and host, could you please allow me to share my screen?
You can go ahead, Abrar.
Is it visible?
Are you sharing
Actually,
your screen? No,
yes.
I can see only Aliro.
Okay, I'll try.
Aliro,
I've
are you...
just spotlighted Aliro because he's the timer.
Okay.
Yes, Abrar, something is happening now. Yeah, finally we see your screen. There you go.
Emma, you can start the timing.
One moment. Ashley, can you also spotlight Aliro? I mean, Abrar, so you can have both of them together.
Yes, I will do that.
On and
Add, you can add.
Yes, done.
Okay, yes.
Am I visible? Audible? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator, guests present here. I am Toastmaster Abrar Syed. This is Babu. Babu is a florist, a gardener. I used to visit Babu at his nursery in Chikalim, and he's very passionate about plants and gardening. Every time I visited him to get shrubs and floral needs, he used to just come in front of me and be like, "Ooh, sir, ye zaad le lo, ee poda le lo." And I was used to him. And after a couple of visits, I went there and collected few of the roses. And as I was passing by the counter, I heard him say, "Madam, iska hai 15,000. Meaning this plant is costing 15,000. And I put on my antennas and my device is on, and I just looked around the 360 degree angle. Which plant is bearing gold or silver flowers here? I wanted to see his gold mine. And as soon as I see him, and I asked him, "Babu, you got to tell me about this gold mine. How did you sell this for 15,000? Because I did not see any huge trees there." And I moved on and I saw all these trees. And he said, "These are called bonsai." The one in the background. Bonsai. Bon means tree and sai means pot. My $1 million investment. The time he said that, because I'm a very return on investment oriented person, I said, I need to get this and I will make this investment. Bonsai, it's an ancient art of creating a perfect tree, but in miniature. And I decided, let's go on and do a $1 million investment. How to grow a bonsai? There are different methods to propagate, and trust me, it needs a lot of patience like other investment. Growing a tree means you have to you have the full control from the time you sow the seeds till the time it's. But the minimum time for you to call any plant a tree is 5 years. For example, the one you see on the screen is a Sapota bonsai, and this is done by an amateur who is also a passionate bonsai amateur, I would say, named Abrar Sayed, and I own this. So you can either choose an indoor or an outdoor plant. And one thing you have to understand, it's a very sophisticated technique which teaches you a lot of patience. So there is a lot of wiring and pruning. For example, this one, there is no wiring, no pruning done. This is what I was supposed to do in the morning, and I took a picture of it. Here are a few of the indoor and outdoor bonsais. Trust me, the first bonsai what I showed you was sold for around $1,100,000, approximately around 8 crores. You get what I'm saying? This small is the plant, but this big is the returns. Let's go ahead. Here are 5 most important things what you need to keep in mind while getting a bonsai. First is watering, because it's there in a tiny pot. It is dependent upon the kind of pot you use and how the drainage is. Coming back to fertilization, you can't fertilize it much, but yes, taking care of watering and the type of soil is very much important. And repotting, it is very crucial for it to repot or transplant it regularly, because once the tree is there, the roots will take and it will eventually die. So you need to prune its roots. Soil and the placement of your trees. Do you want to keep it indoors or outdoors? And but apart from this, a common misconception what I've heard is that all these bonsai plants are dwarf plants. No, bonsai are perfectly normal plants, but they are just trained with techniques so that they look like in miniature size. And styling involves various types of methods. Some would be pruning, some use wire, and so on and so forth. While I was researching this topic, I came across this lady. Her name is Chiako Yamamoto. She is the first and the only female sensei who's alive. And according to her, you can't just grow plants. You need to have a sense of ritual and spirituality, which I would give her +1, and I stand by those thoughts because it has taught me a lot of patience. And there is nothing called as an overnight bonsai investment or a bonsai plant which you grow. And especially when you're growing bonsai, you need to be passionate about it. So let's go ahead. Coming back to my investment. After researching and understanding about this topic, because this is a topic which is close to me and I've been researching it for a very long time, and I've realized that there are 3 important things: research, discipline, and patience, which are more same and which are the same factors which are there for making any investments. I have, I had actually 5 plants. Now I just have 3, and I lost 2 of them. And when I lost those 2 plants, which were 3 years and 4 years old, I realized that you can never get time. It actually teaches you the power of compounding, and it also keeps you on toes. And like a ritual, how the sensei told us, that it teaches you a lot of patience. There is nothing called as an overnight success or an investment. Similarly, when you choose a bonsai, which anybody can do, and I would recommend you to do it, it's not about a week's time or a month's time or year's time. It takes decades. And imagine, my thing is, instead of getting a land, imagine I get a small plant, and which I would recommend you all to do it. Imagine getting 1 plant or maybe 5 small plants, keeping it there and passing it after you're dead, because bonsai is going to outlive you. There are bonsais which are centuries old. Imagine doing that, and it takes a very less time. So my message before I wind up is understand the power of compounding and leave wealth. Imagine passing this to your children or grandchildren, maybe creating a legacy, I would say. Thank you very much, Madam Siona. Over to you, Division Director, Toastmasters Siona.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abrar. Could we have a standing ovation for Toastmaster Abrar, because he completes his level 1 today, and this is what we do. A standing ovation
Thank you very much.
for
Thank you very much.
completing your level 1. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we take a moment to provide feedback on his private chat while we give a little time for the evaluator to make his notes. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the first session. Now we have the second segment, the educational segment by Toastmaster, the DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Ravi Teja. And he's going to tell us how to maximize your Toastmasters journey. Now, I've known DTM Ravi Teja since I was a member. And can we put him on the spot, Ashley?
Yes, Siona.
So when I joined, Toastmaster Ravi Teja was there in Goa for the eloquence, right, Ravi? Were you there for the eloquence? Yes. And when I saw him, I said, wow, what a personality. I wish I could talk to him, but it didn't happen because I didn't have the guts to do that then, 5 years ago. And I've seen him being the immediate past district director when I was the area director last year. His thought process, the way he speaks, his calmness is worth a mention. When I introduce Ravi Teja, I always say he's the youngest distinguished Toastmaster who's been the district director, the youngest district director. Am I right, Ravi?
In District 98, yes.
Yes, in District 98. Let
But
me
in the
correct
world, there
myself.
were a few, yeah.
No, in District 98, yes. And there's
Yeah.
lots to learn with him. If you get an opportunity to interact with him, you'll always return back with pearls of wisdom. Over to you, DTM Ravi Teja. He's also the software professional in Hyderabad and a Toastmaster of 10 years. Stage is yours.
Thanks, Saina. I often miss one of the things that I really miss about the Toastmasters leadership is the opportunity to meet so many new Toastmasters, and especially people from Goa. And I'll give you many reasons. I can give many reasons of why I do, not only about the place, but also but more to do so with the people that we have in the Goa Toastmasters community. So it's always nice. It's like homecoming for me to see a fresh new some fresh new faces in this group, especially the Vasco Club. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And um, the first thing that I really that still occupied my mind is we superb speech. I think we had just now. The speaker one. I missed your name. So what was it?
Abrar, A-B-R-A-R, Abrar.
A-B-R-A-R, Abrar. So I'll remember this for a long time, because I think you made me go out and buy a bonsai tree. I think that's what your speech made me do. And excellent speech. I think it was crisp. It had that non-preachy way of telling to go and buy a bonsai tree, and you have made it very, very personal, not only to you, but you also elaborated how it can become personal to all of us. So although I'm not giving an evaluation of your speech, but I really liked the topic. So that is still in my head as I started speaking. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is, often people ask what it is to be a good communicator, right? So what it is to be a good speaker or a good public speaker in this arena, what it is to be a good virtual communicator, right? So anybody has a guess what does it mean to be a good speaker? Anybody can just shout out what is it, what does it mean to be a good speaker?
Expressing thought.
Confidence and self-belief. This is
Confidence and self-belief. Excellent.
Being able to put out your point in the easiest words possible.
Excellent. Fantastic. Who else? Excellent. Great answers.
Expressing your thought. This is what I said. I think Rishabh said the same thing.
Yeah. Excellent, Zaina and Rishabh. I think you guys already know what
I
it
would
means.
say, I would
Yeah.
also say being able to convince a speaker to be on your side of the opinion that you want to convey. That's kind of influencing the listeners.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Superb. I think you all know what it means to be a good communicator or a good speaker, and that's very, very important. Now, my growth in Toastmasters and as a speaker or as a communicator in parallel to my professional journey is something like this. I started to speak because I got applause. So whenever during my school time, the teacher used to ask who is going to address the assembly today by reading out the pledge or the school's mission or whatever it is. I always used to, there are a lot of people who used to raise hand, and I was one of them. And why I did that? It's just to get that applause from my friends, right? And similarly, as I grew up, that applause that I would want from the audience did not die down. It continued to be there. And one of the main reasons why I joined Toastmasters is I might get that applause back, because during your intermediates and during your college preparations, you kind of lose that way of getting that applause, right? So when I joined Toastmasters, it's all about, okay, I tell something and people will clap for me. And somehow, ironically, Toastmasters clap for everything and anything. So you really don't know whether you did well or they are being sarcastic to start off with. So that after 6 to 7 months of my life in Toastmasters, I started to understand that applause is anyways I'm going to get applause in a Toastmasters club. So what else can I get? Then it changed to recognition. What is recognition? To become the best speaker of the day, or to win a club contest, or to win an area contest, and so on and so forth. Because if you win, you are remembered at least for that day. Correct? Now, over the period of time, I did win a few best speaker ribbons. I did win a few area contests, and that also did not give me any thrill. So then I moved on to something more. Okay, what else do I have in Toastmasters, right? And then I took up club leadership. Now things changed. When I took up club leadership, things have changed drastically, because when I am interacting with new members, or when I am interacting with some of the senior members, They are not going to sit and applaud for 5 to 7 minutes of my speech or 1 to 2 minutes of my speech. If they don't like me the first 10 seconds or even before, whatever actions that I have done, they did not like, they are not going to listen to me at all. So then I thought, oh my God, there is so much more to communications than just applause or recognition. So I started working a little bit more before I get onto the stage, or before I get into that interaction with that particular person. So then it is mine is a corporate club. So I work in the same office where we have the club. So it's more or less I know everybody who's there in the club and in the company. So it was more and more easier. Then I took a step ahead. I took up the role of area director like Sayana last year, and then I had to interact with another club. Another club, and I'll tell you a club that I have. When I was an area director, it is the ISB Toastmasters Club, Indian School of Business Toastmasters Club, and I was a 22-year-old kid who had maybe a couple of years or 3 years of experience. Maybe not 22, I'm exaggerating, but I think I'll be around 24, 25, or no matter, it doesn't matter. But I was just too young to go into an Indian School of Business classroom and talk to the graduates there about communication. As an area director, I have to inspire the ISB Toastmasters Club. And I felt so funny because those people have cracked GMAT. They have got very good scores. They have experience, and I have to go and speak. So which means that, okay, now this can't happen. I need to push myself up a little to reach to their stage when I'm going and speaking. So not only did I work on what I'm going to speak, but I researched on the content that I'm going to speak. Which means that if I'm going to talk about communication, I researched as much as possible about what business communication is, what are the students there are in the school, what are the challenges they have. I spoke to the previous area director, I spoke to some of the previous presidents, and figured out a list of things that I can go and speak to and make sense. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this journey is, I hope you are understanding the fact that to come to the point of really understanding what is effective communication or great communication, there are different stages. Do you all agree with me? Yes, it doesn't happen on day one. Correct? Which means that some of us in our own Toastmasters journey, we are all at different places in that understanding of what it means to be an effective communicator. Like, for example, Sayana and Rishabh, both of them spoke about thoughts, and I believe that is the highest point of being an effective communicator. Because if you can understand this important thing, then nothing matters. I'll give you why I say so, but before that, how many of you here already know where you are in your Toastmasters journey? This is the place I am. This is why I am speaking. It's okay if you don't know, but if you know, you can just speak out. Where do you think you are? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Just go ahead. Unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yes, Abrar. Abrar, you can speak up. Unmute yourself.
No, I think Abrar's video is stuck.
I think I know where I am, and there are multiple members.
Anybody else? It's okay. Abrar will come back to you. Anyone else?
This is Gopal. Yeah. So I'm in level 1. I've completed I'm in level 1 in the Toastmaster journey, and I've completed my icebreaker speech. I'm preparing for the next project.
Excellent. So that is from an educational level point of view. Not bad to describe where you are. Good. Anyone else who wants to describe beyond the educational level point of view, where do you think you are in this journey?
Oh, I would like to add, before, when you are speaking, know the audience, what their
Right.
interests are and what their background is. And most of all, you need to know the content that they are interested, and one can always adjust to their interests. And that's
Excellent.
what Toastmaster helps with experience.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Pramod. And I think all of you, even though you did not speak, you would know where you are in your present in a Toastmasters journey. And it is important to know where you are. The reason why that I'm telling you this is, as many of us have the possibility of going into diversions. What I meant to say is, we have so many things in life to do, right? We have a college or an office, a personal life, or any other hobby that we are pursuing. All of these things are basically occupying a lot of your time and your mind. But if you do not, if you do not if you are not knowing where you are and where you want to go, being in Toastmasters journey, then it becomes a little bit difficult to continue to hold on to Toastmasters for a long time. And once you leave it, there is a possibility that you have lost an opportunity where, just like the bonsai tree, you're still a plant where you have left Toastmasters. There's a danger of being that. So when we speak about our Toastmasters journey and what is to be an effective speaker, you have to pass through the journey to come to a point where you understand, or where you can recognize the importance of thoughts. I'll give you two examples of how important that is. The first example is, how many of you have done CAT or GMAT, where there is the reading comprehension? GRE, I think, also has. There is that subject called or a section called reading comprehension, where you have to read a passage and then answer questions. How many of you have done that? You can raise your hands if you don't want to speak. That's also fine.
We did it in school.
Yeah, we did it in school as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. All of us, majority of us, we would have, right? We would have done that reading comprehension thingy at some point of time. Now, reading comprehension, if you have to comprehend a passage or a paragraph, uh, which is simple, it's easy. But then as you grow, that passage becomes more and more tougher. So when you want to do an exam like a GRE or a GMAT or a CAT for that matter, it becomes more and more tougher. And then when you become a director or an in charge of an organization, to read a particular email or a sales pitch or a marketing pitch or the finance pitch of the entire thing, comprehending isn't easy. The ability of a leader is basically determined by the way he comprehends a situation and makes it easier for his team to pursue. At the same time, he also takes the right decision because he was trained with the ability of comprehending the situation or the situation that is in front of him, which is sometimes text and which is sometimes a situation. Now, which means that if you have to comprehend, it is more of an intrinsic ability rather than a trained ability. So you yourself as a person would start gathering the experiences, going through your normal journey as a human being, to be able to comprehend the situation that is in front of you. And if you come to a point where you are able to comprehend the situation, that makes you a little bit better. You will be pushed onto a higher or more important or more crucial role. Or for simplicity's sake, you will make your own life easier, and the people around you will also start feeling that life is easy. And that's what I believe uh, transforms a person from a normal, regular, outgoing person to a well-established leader. And that's very, very important That's very, very important for somebody to be at, because if you plan yourself to be the leader, or to be the best at whatever you're doing, you will have to go through that phase from the beginning to the end to come to this point. And this journey in between, you will use a lot of tools to enhance yourself to come to that end point. And amongst all those tools that you have, one tool was Toastmasters. One tool is still Toastmasters. And I hope that tool remains with you for quite a long amount of time. And as much as you use this tool of Toastmasters to enhance that personality of yours, or your thought process of yours, you would be able to get how much ever you want from it. Now, why do I say this? There is only one reason why I say this, because I've seen that in myself, from where I have started to where I am today. I can make my own life easier, and the people around me also feel a little bit more secure, because of the fact that I know how to handle situations, or I know how to communicate well or effectively to my counterparts or my clients, both internal or external. And that brings in the security that is very much needed. Now, how do I do that, and how can we maximize Toastmasters journey? So, how many of you face clients, are in client facing roles in your profession? Anybody who's in client facing roles? Yeah, Brar is one.
Minal and Shivani also.
Okay. Okay, so Meenal or Shivani, let me come to either of you. Can you say what's the most toughest thing talking to clients? According to you, what do you feel is the toughest thing talking to clients?
Trying to convince them that you are recommending a better option and they are still going with the one that will not get them the kind of impact that they need.
Persuading them, right?
Persuasion
Persuading
aspect,
them
yes.
yeah, excellent. Shivani?
Yeah, so I'm a counselor. So for me as a counselor, it's sometimes difficult to put my point forward, and they keep going back to square one. So I have to just keep doing the same thing over and over sessions.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. So I think either of these options, whether you have to persuade somebody, or you would have to keep somebody's focus right in the discussion that you have as a counselor, would require speaking skills. Correct? When you say speaking skills, it doesn't mean that you need to have good English. What you need to have is good idea of what the situation is. And if your aim is to become better in those conversations, there is a very intrinsic benefit of it, right? Your business will be good, your job will be good, you will be applauded by your superiors, or you will stand out. So there is very much a need there for you to sharpen your skills or practice your skills day in and day out. So the moment you join Toastmasters, it is important for you to identify where exactly do I need to invest my time and energy and focus, or what is it that I need to tell my evaluator or a mentor to look whenever I am on stage or whenever I'm doing a particular role. You need to tell them, this is what I'm looking for. Do you think I achieved it? You need to ask that question, and then the evaluator will give you that feedback, or the mentor will give you that feedback. That is very critical in getting the best out of Toastmasters. For example, when I changed my role from an individual contributor to a team leader, as an individual contributor, I was very comfortable. It was very convenient for me to do everything that I need to do. But when I become a team leader, suddenly I had to delegate things, and that was very tough for me, because what if that person goes wrong, or why is it this person so slow? If I do it, I'll do it much faster. And then slowly I realized that I don't trust people in my own team. I need to be okay with what it is. And I came to know once I tried delegation as a Toastmasters, club officer. When I became the PPR, I had a small team, and I said, okay, I will let my inhibitions be in me. I wouldn't judge what they do. I let them do. And slowly I realized the art of delegation. That is, you keep the responsibility, but you give the work. And so that one year was I invested my time to learn the art of delegation. Similarly, as Toastmasters, as somebody who have come from a professional environment, you need to identify that very thing that you would want to get out of Toastmasters and see how you can get by what activity that you do. Are you all with me till here? Yes? Excellent.
Yes.
The second tip, the second thing, how you can use this tool of Toastmasters to get to that point where your thoughts make a lot of sense. Abrar, okay, Abrar is here, so it's okay. You need not switch on your video if there's a bandwidth issue, but if you have to speak, what was the thrill that you had while you're preparing the speech? In the preparation, what was the thrill in your preparation? What was it that you felt very good?
Trying to sell my own story most in the shortest time that I had. Am I audible?
You are, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry. Go ahead, Abrar.
I'll put my video to sell my story in the most simplest form. When I say story, it's my research in the most simplest form, and convince everyone should get a bonsai. That was the thrill.
Did we lose Ravi?
Is it just yes, I think we
We
did.
lost him now. Okay, by the time he comes back, we can summarize. What was the first tip? Come on. Let's
Can you
summarize.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry. I think.
Yeah, we lost you.
So go ahead, Abrar. Sorry.
My goal was to sell my story, that my research actually, in the most simplest form and convince everyone to make $1 million investment.
Okay. And what's the thrill while you're preparing the speech? Did you feel that while you're preparing, this is what made it? If I use this story, it'll become simpler. If I use these words, it'll become simpler. Or where is it that you found that spark in your speech while you're preparing?
When I started with Babu and ended with Babu, and I kept the story, the research in between, and did not preach.
Right. You did, right? You felt that thrill. Yes. Now, this is very important when you're speaking. See, for example, movie dialogues, right? The Salman Khan movie dialogues or Amir Khan movie dialogues, we look at it and we feel that, wow, that dialogue is super awesome. Imagine I am there in the situation. If I give that, if I'm able to give that dialogue back to that person, it would be good. Now that those are rehearsed, those are written dialogues, right? It doesn't come impromptu. You don't expect a Salman Khan or Amir Khan to give such on the spot dialogues, right? It doesn't happen like that. Now, similar to speeches, the reason why I'm telling you this is similar to speeches. It is those words of wisdom that comes out of your ideas, your thoughts, your experiences makes a lot of difference. If you would always see there will be a few people, let's say for example Saina, if you go to her, that she will be helping you resolve some of the problems that you're facing either in Toastmasters or Toastmasters clubs, right? That's something that you always do. Now, for that to happen, Zaina has to do a little bit more of work. She has to show that commitment to whatever she is doing, and then put in that right kind of an effort. Otherwise, that personality doesn't come just like that. It takes time, it takes work, obviously, right? Now, similarly, when you're preparing a speech, the thrill in the ability to draft a point across an idea such that your audience will get it is the most thrilling part of your preparation. There is nothing else that is so good about speech preparation than this. I still remember my CC6. I was thinking, how do I communicate change? Right? I want to say change is the best. My crux of the speech is we need to change, we need to adapt, and that's the only thing that's constant in life. And that's what I want to say to the audience. Now I need to put two stories in it. And I was thinking, I was going through many stories that I have in my mind, and nothing is fitting the bill. It is coming nearer. It is not putting that. I was not able to put that point across, but it is not satisfying. And I was sleeping, and in my dream I get some story about my childhood, right? A fantasy of what could have happened, and I suddenly woke up and wrote that story, and I slept. Now the thrill in keeping that story in the entire speech was beautiful. Now the moment you experience that, when you are giving prepared speeches, you will never give a bad speech. Never ever give a bad speech. And when you can never give a bad speech, that becomes subconsciously ingrained in you, that whenever you are communicating, whenever you're speaking, whether to your superiors or your team members or your clients, whoever it might be, it becomes part of your basic communication style, that he will not speak without thinking. And that's the thrill that we all have to experience whenever we are preparing for speeches. Go through that grind. You may give the same speech 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times. That doesn't matter. Change the stories, change the way the speech is being drafted, so on and so forth. But get to a point where the speech is perfect. With me still? Yes? The last point that I want to tell you. If you really want to utilize this tool to the maximum, understand the impact that you are doing while being a part of Vasco Toastmasters Club to the society around you. Right? To the society around you. That's very, very important. If you are from a corporate Toastmasters Club, you need to know what is your impact of a club to your corporate. What is the value you're adding to the community that is around you. One of the most memorable moments for me in my Toastmasters journey is when Hyderabad Toastmasters together did a YLP program called as Youth Leadership Program at a government high school in some remote part of Hyderabad. And when we did that, that's the most satisfying thing that happened. And you all know what Youth Leadership Program is. I suppose YLP is nothing but in the old educational manual, there used to be CC1 to CC5. So basically helping kids to draft speeches, and the same thing that we do in our Toastmasters Club on certain points. So that's what we did YLP. And that was the most satisfying thing to me, because I slowly realized that if I am a good speaker, I'll help somebody else to become more confident. I can help somebody else to understand. Yeah, speechcraft is also right, Meenal. So you would be getting into the fact that, yeah, I can make a difference to the people around me. And as a club, and that is what should unite all of you. Some of the things that you can do to keep that camaraderie between all of you is to understand what is it that as a group you can do to your society and community that is just adjacent to you. Say, for example, Vasco has a lot of good things, right? You guys have a lot of good things around Vasco. So pick out something that you can help in the field of communication, language, confidence building, counseling, or job creation, whatever it might be. And can you as a group drive that project to make a difference to the people around you? And utilize all your Toastmaster skills that you have learned so far in persuading people like Meenal wanted to, or ensuring that they are focused like how Shivani wanted to, when you're making that conversations with the private parties or people outside your own Toastmasters club. And if you can do that, you will enjoy this journey more than anything. So these are the three things that I would always suggest to anybody who want to maximize their Toastmasters journey. And if you can do that, if you can do all the three, fair enough. But if you can do even one of it to its fullest, I think you'll get the best Toastmasters experience than anybody else in the world. And this is where I would want to stop and take any questions from any of you.
Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thanks, Ayana. Thanks for having me here.
Yes. So we are open for questions. Timer, how much time do we have? I think we can take about 2 to 3 questions.
There is still 5 minutes of
Okay.
45 minutes.
All right. So we'll take about 2 to 3 questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can either put it on the chat, or you can unmute yourself and raise your question.
Okay. Meenal, hi. It's been long that I've seen you. Hope you're good.
Yes, I just rejoined Toastmasters after a break.
Oh, nice to have you in the Toastmasters circuit. Good. You're still in Goa? You moved?
I'm in Mumbai actually currently.
Oh, okay. I thought so. Excellent. Okay, go ahead. Any questions for me?
Toastmaster Ravi, I have one question.
Sure, sir.
If you're giving a humorous speech, how do you, like in a setup like this, how do you time yourself for a punchline or a joke? Like how do you time the pauses? Because you cannot hear anyone and you can't really pay attention to everybody who is saying that, because timer is just flashing his stars right on my face.
Absolutely. No, excellent questions. I think that's a very good question. Even that's something that I faced when I was contesting last time. You know what I realized? You have to be able to laugh to the joke that you've cracked. And that's the first thing. You remember, right? I don't know whether you do it, Abrar, but I used to do it in my childhood, and I used to talk to myself just like that, just for fun, and and think about those things that happened in my life that made me laugh, or made me cry, made me happy, as if I was batting for India because I like cricket. And then I used to do what you call that, a flick of Shoaib Akhtar's bowling, and so on and so forth. And that's something that we used to do. If you're a tennis lover, you practice as if. So the point is, I believe in a virtual environment, one of the things that you have to really understand is you are your first audience more than anybody else. So are you able to laugh at that joke? Does that punchline really give you a laugh? You got to be a big critic of yourself when you're doing your virtual meeting. And of course, audience reaction is important, no doubt about it. That doesn't change. But given the virtual environment that we have, you should figure out that would you laugh when you do that punchline? Does that laugh come on your face naturally, or are you forcing it because this is a punchline and I need people to smile or laugh at? So that's my quick suggestion that I can give you.
Thank you, Ravi.
Any other questions?
So I had a question.
Right,
Toastmaster Ravi, you had mentioned that you just make sure in your mind that you do deliver good speeches, so that it's there in your subconscious that you cannot give a bad speech. So just, but prior to that, when you get cold feet just before stepping on to speak, how do you tackle that?
Oh yeah, yeah. We all get, Rishabh. I think the best speakers in the world get that cold feet. Even you may be a speaker for 100 years, except if you are God. There is no way no way that you do not have that cold feet. There are different things. For example, when what I used to do is I used to move around the stage a little bit more back in those days where we used to have face-to-face meetings. I used to move a lot, right? And one of my evaluators said that, why are you moving? And I told her that because I'm nervous. And then she suggested the Woodland shoes. You remember the Woodland shoes that used to be very bulky in the sole, that if you really walk, you'll get leg pains on, on those shoes. So she asked me to do that, and then I tried my best, but I wasn't able to walk, and slowly I reduced it. So the nervousness is common, but to reduce that nervousness, there are different ways depending upon how you transform that nervousness on the stage. If it is like me, if it is walking, then this suggestion worked for me, so it might. If for you it is stammering, because for me, I am a stammerer by birth, so I always stammer. It took me a lot of time to stop being a stammerer, right? So there are specific steps or processes that can help you to stop stammering. For example, what I practiced is looking at the pole that is at the end of the audience, or looking at that one person who always nods, who always smiles at you in the audience. Give the entire speech to him. Don't worry about anything else. So as you start practicing, you would find a way to get out of this nervousness. But in summary, Rishabh, everybody gets nervous, and everyone has their own trick to avoid that nervousness out of the stage. And just like people crack jokes, people give opening sentences. They prepare already. Say, for example, impromptu speaking contest, you would see they would have already prepared a few stories. Given whatever topic, you fit that into that story, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happens in improv. So there are different ways in which people do that, and I'm sure you'll find your way if you keep searching.
Okay. So any other question? Ravi is going to be with us until the end of the session, I think, Ravi. So if you have any question, I think you can ping him directly, or one more question maybe we can take. Or I will summarize.
I have
Yeah,
a
okay.
question if we can. So when it comes to communication, we build upon ourselves, but when it comes to leadership, how do you gauge or how do you take a call on what kind of a role or what kind of responsibility will help you become a better leader?
That's a deep question, Meenal. I don't think that you can choose to be in a leadership position. I'll tell you why. You can be a specialist, right? You can be a specialist. You can choose to be a specialist. You can choose to be an expert, but I think you cannot choose to be a leader. That's very underrated, I think, or overrated, to be precise. That I want to become the leader of the country or the leader of the organization, or I want to become a team leader, is a very cliched. I think it doesn't hold good anymore now. Leadership, I believe, chooses you, and it's not because you're good or you're brilliant. It's because that's what's the that is what is the right thing for that particular time, with the opportunity that is available to you. Now, if something comes your way, your duty is not to let it go. If you are in the mode of learning, right? Why I say this? Say, for example, somebody throws you an opportunity to become the club president, or your apartment president, or your apartment secretary, whatever it might be, anything that you see around. Don't let it go. If you haven't experienced it, if you haven't gone through those things, don't let it go, because you might not ever get it. and suddenly there is an opportunity that is coming that can have a larger impact, and you suddenly feel unprepared for it or underprepared for it. Okay, so to come back, I do not think you can ever choose or you choose leadership positions. Leadership positions always come to you. If you can, you should always say yes if an opportunity comes by. And that's what I told Sayana also when she wants to become a division director. I said, do not let it go. That's an experience that you should. If it isn't coming your way, fair enough. You have a process to get elected or to get selected. That's still okay. That's absolutely fine. But letting go of an opportunity to lead something is criminal. That's what I believe. At least to all of you. Hope I answered, Minal.
Yes. Okay. So thanks a lot to all the questions, and thanks a lot, Ravi. So I want to summarize. Our topic was how to maximize your Toastmasters journey. And what I summarize in 3, okay? You have helped us to remind ourselves to know why we have joined and to check where we are today. Second, share your stories, make it personal so that you enjoy telling, making it more personal. And the third one is maximize your potential by grabbing opportunities to reach out to others. And this I can personally vouch. The satisfaction that you get by giving to others, no money can buy or no money can give you. So yes, with these 3, I think if anyone else has got anything else to summarize, please put it in the chat. We'll close this educational session for now and then go on with we have another 10-20 minutes, I think. So we go to the next session. The third session is the impromptu segment. Okay. So we bring in the attribute of taste. Be sure to taste your words before you spit them out, it is said. So as a professor, we have a professor of the school who says, I asked him, how does he handle his taste of words with his children, with the children? And he was very humble to say that he is trying to be a polite teacher. He looks like one, but I don't know, he said he's struggling to be polite. It doesn't look like to me, Clifford, but I think we will figure out later. But now you may start with your table topic session. I can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Siona Fernandez. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, a very good evening to all of you. One of the most exciting portions of the Toastmasters meeting is the table topic session. The main objective is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills, to effectively think on their feet by answering unrehearsed questions. We also want to give every member the opportunity to speak at each meeting. We do this with the table topics session. Table topics is specially designed to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. Today, as your table topics master, I will be asking questions related to our meeting theme, that is, count your blessings. Your response must be at least 1 minute and can be no more than 2 minutes. You will see a green signal after 1 minute. That's your minimum time. A yellow signal at 1 minute 30 seconds and a red signal at 2 minutes, beyond which you'll get a 30 seconds grace time. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, which is endow. So let's get started. Any volunteers who would like to give a shot at the first topic? They're very simple topics, so I request you to come forward and quickly volunteer.
Yeah, I'd like to volunteer. Rishabh.
Rishabh. Yes, Rishabh. So something that is very common and something my wife answered a few times already. Nevertheless, your topic is the pandemic. a boon or a bane?
Thank you for the topic, Table Topics Master. The pandemic, a boon or a bane? I would say personally, to me, it has been a boon. It has been a best blessing in disguise because I had never imagined in my life that I would get this 8, 9 months just to myself. I would be stuck up in a room, and myself being an outdoor person who's always outside the house, being inside the house for 8 months was a daunting task. But nevertheless, I did it. So during those 7, 8 months, I had a lot of free time. So, and I just cleared my 12th standard boards. So, and I had literally nothing to do because colleges don't start until the boards result are out. So, with all this free time, I had so many thoughts coming and going through my mind. And I also went through my breakup during that time. So, it was not a very good phase, but I got a lot of learning lessons from that time to myself. I learned how to meditate. I started playing the guitar. I learned how to windsurf. And I also started playing golf. So, in that way, I would say that, yeah, the pandemic has come as a blessing to me. Thank you.
Well done, Rishabh. After listening to you, I felt that I did not utilize my pandemic or the lockdown too well. I think I could have done more. Well done, Rishabh. Any other volunteers? Any guests would like to volunteer? Any of our guests? Okay, Dr. Pramod. Your topic is, how do you count your blessings when things go wrong? Dr. Pramod, unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First, I hold my breath and then count my blessings and know my audience. Whatever the task is, I just smile it off and act tough. Because I have been a president of pharmaceutical companies, I had so many tasks. And then what used to happen, there were a lot of things that used to go wrong. But at the same time, it used to give me a challenge, how to go about solving it. You had employees, all my employees used to speak Polish or Spanish. How do you communicate it? Then Toastmaster skill helped me. Just stand there and tell them what to do. And they used to listen because I knew what I wanted to do, what I wanted to execute it. And they used to do it very well. And all you need to know is you need to know what you want, the final result. So it helped me to get my final result getting done because it was pharmaceutical. I had to have a good product, no blemishes into it. And it used to get done so well. And all the employees were so happy. They used to look forward to coming there. And I used to enjoy the whole day with them, have Polish music. We had sound system at the background. And we had a lot of Gujarati, also Indians. And we used to have blend of it. So it was more like musical event, but at the same time, very serious things that were going on. Over to you. Over to you, I'm done.
Clifford, unmute yourself.
Sorry. Thank you, Dr. Pramod. It's always a pleasure listening to you. Any other volunteers? We have time for one or two, maybe. Any volunteers? Should I pick one? Akshata Bandekar. Are you there? Akshata? Masya? Or anybody else? Akshada, Masya, are you there?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. This is
I'm sorry,
Akshada.
my internet is very.
Yeah, I guess it's no problem. Akshada, are you there? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Akshada.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I hope it's okay that I can't put my video
No,
on.
no problem. No problem.
Okay.
Okay. Before I give you a topic, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are you working, Akshada?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Okay.
I'm actually just still doing my online classes and stuff, so it's
Okay.
kind of an interim for me. I just graduated last year.
Okay. 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 Then I'll give another topic for you. Okay. No problem. Okay. They say, don't think of the things you didn't get after praying. Think of the countless blessings God gave you without asking. Tell us about one such blessing you received without asking. Did you get the topic?
I'm sorry, could you just repeat the last part?
Tell us about one such blessing you received without asking.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that wonderful question. I think there are so many things that I can point out that I've been so grateful and thankful for all my life. I mean, sometimes I just look back, like I sit back and I wonder, what did I ever do in my past life to deserve all of these things that I have right now? And I
think we've lost you. Shruta, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you
Oh my
now.
God, this is.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, Akshada. I can hear you. Go
I'm
ahead.
terribly sorry about this. I don't know what is happening to the internet today.
I can hear you clearly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that I don't really think I can point out to like one particular thing. I'm just grateful for so many things that I have, especially, I mean, I was able to hear a little bit of the first answer that was given during the table topic session. And that was during the lockdown. We had so many months and so many days to just sit by ourselves and look around and just see the things that, you know, just made us wonder, like, what did we do to have all of this? And I think if, I mean, to answer your question, if there was one thing that I could select out of those, probably the fact that, you know, throughout this pandemic, when so many people lost so many things that were so dear to them, I consider myself lucky to, you know, still have everything, have my family, have my friends, be able to, you know, talk to whoever I want and be a part of Toastmasters and, you know, meet so many new people. So I think this is the thing that I'm grateful of. And I hope you all heard what I said, because I don't know what's wrong with my internet. And if you didn't, well, that's okay. Thank you. Back to you.
Well done, Akshada. Thank you so much. I think we've come to the end of the session. I don't think we have time for another topic. Timer, can you check the time, please? Do we have time for another topic?
No.
Okay. Okay. So we've come to the end of the session, a short session on the table topics. Now we could have the voting, right?
Yep.
Yes, we'll go ahead with the voting. I request the Zoom master to put out the poll for the best table topic speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Clifford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Timer, have all the speakers qualified?
We only have Abrar, who has spoken like for 6 seconds extra. So can we consider him?
No, but has he spoken for table topics? No.
Sorry, not table topics.
Yeah.
Table topics, everyone is qualified.
So it's Toastmaster Rishabh, Dr. Pramod, and Toastmaster Akshada.
Akshada.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. I will now launch the poll. Yeah, muscle launch. Bro.
I think it's already launched. No, Ashley.
Yeah.
Have you stopped? I think you need to stop.
Ashley, you can end the poll. Yes, I guess.
Yeah, it's
we've
ended.
come- Yeah.
I'm
we
so
can end
sorry
it.
for that glitch.
No problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end of this session, a short but fun session. Thank you everyone for participating and volunteering. Thank you, Akshata. In spite of your internet connections or internet problem, you persisted in giving a speech. Thank you, everyone. And over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Siona Fernandez.
Thank you, Toastmaster Clifford, for the beautiful session. Short, but crisp and nice, as always. So it has been a blessing to be the Toastmaster of the Day. And we've had a beautiful session right from the beginning with one speech, one educational session, and the table topic session. I wish to thank all of you for your contribution in expressing your thought through the attributes. Let me leave you with a message. Life is all about perception, positive versus negative. Whichever one you choose will affect and more than likely reflect your outcome. We do not see things as they are, rather, we see things as we are. I hope this session has helped you to be grateful for all the blessings of all the resources you have within yourself. Be blessed and be a blessing to everyone. Now, with this, we end my session. Now, I hand over to the general evaluator, the Abilant Toastmaster, Toastmaster Shivani. I asked her, everything that irritates her about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. I asked her whether she believes this. And she says, yes, she believes it's a blessing. Everything that makes us uncomfortable has an answer to why we seek for comfort. Beautiful thought. Over to you, Toastmaster Shivani.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Siona. So we come at the end to the evaluation session. I remember this very famous quote in Marathi, which says "Nindakache ghar asave shezari," which basically means that it is a blessing if your neighbor is your evaluator, because it gives us constant chance to improve on ourselves. And that's exactly what we believe in Toastmasters as well. Evaluations are important to us as they give us that window of learning open. They keep that window of learning open. And they tell us that all of us are learning and all of us are on the same page. And my role as a general evaluator is divided into three parts. First, I'll call upon the speech evaluator for his report. Then I'll call upon the tag team for their report. And at the end, I will give my report on the meeting as a whole. So first, let me call upon Toastmaster Rishabh to give his report on Toastmaster Abrar's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Rishabh.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So, Toastmaster Abrar, congratulations for a very successful speech. The title of your speech, My $1 Million Investment, was very catchy. I was figuring from the time you gave me the details of your speech as to what you're going to speak about. and that kept the suspense on. So I really like that. Your speech title was really good. It captivated me, and I'm sure it must have captivated everybody else too. The gestures which you used were great. You blend into your speech, and you were very comfortable in your own skin, and we could see that throughout your speech. Then you brought this local Konkani touch by speaking in the tone of how the sellers normally speak. So I really like that too. So, and there was a bit of humor also in your speech, wherein you said that you were searching for a plant which bears gold and silver, which was a nice tinge to it. And I could relate to you, and I'm very sure everybody else could relate to you, because you brought in that Babu Gardner feel and what you were thinking about when he said that that plant was for 15,000. I'm pretty sure everybody else must have been wondering too, that what must be that thing that is worth 15,000. A couple of things that I would like to point out in your speech was, in the starting, you were speaking about what kind of thing you would like to invest. Basically, you were speaking about the general narrative of the story, and then you suddenly jumped to how to grow a bonsai. So I think that if there was a better transition in that, it would have given a better effect. Now, there were a couple of pauses which I thought were unnecessary during your speech. So maybe you could work on that. And lastly, there was I noticed that you were looking down a lot. So instead of that, if you could focus on the audience more, that could be more captivating for everybody. You did manage to educate us without it seeming to be a lecture. So congratulations on that. It was a very well structured and research speech, and we could see that throughout the way you were so passionately talking about your bonsai experience. And I'm sure that you have planted a seed of thought in everybody's mind, and we might give buying a bonsai a consideration. I would finally like to end by saying that you did make me believe that why should I invest in the stock market when I can buy a bonsai? Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh. Now I call upon the tech team. So let me call timer Toastmaster Aliro to give his report. Toastmaster Aliro, over to you.
Hey, good evening. So the meeting started on time, and we are gonna finish also on time, I feel. So the speakers that have qualified, Toastmaster Ravi, who qualified speaking for 33 minutes. Then we have Toastmaster Rishabh, who just now spoke for 2 minutes 45 seconds. Then we have the table topic speakers, Rishabh, Toastmaster Rishabh, who again spoke for 1.12 seconds. Then Toastmaster Dr. Pramod, who qualified for speaking for 1.56 seconds. And we have Toastmaster Ashada, who qualified for speaking for 1 minute and 7 seconds. That's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aliro. Now I call upon our counter, Toastmaster Meenal, to give her report. Over to you, Toastmaster Meenal.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Shivani. As the R counter, I somehow end up being the villain who's endowed with the responsibility of trying to figure the parts that are missing in a speech. But I count my blessing to be able to become a better listener, figuring out the exact number of times that the words are repeated, to have a quick glimpse of the kind of words and the number of times that they were repeated today. Aliro has mentioned the word say about 7 times, and so about 2 times. Siona has about 4 times, Rishabh has about 2, and subconsciously tends to repeat the word so. Abrar has said about 6 times and usually ends up dragging the words, which sometimes can be considered as a pregnant pause and sometimes as a filler word. Our speaker, Ravi, had a lot of time to speak I did start keeping a track of the ums and the ahs, but then I got engrossed in the speech and I forgot to keep a track of that. I myself ended up with 3 ahs so far. Clifford has used 3 times. Akshada has used and ah 1 times, and subconsciously, I believe, also has a habit of saying, you know. However, the one person that I tried really hard to listen to, but could not come out with a single ah, pause, anything was Dr. Pramod. He has very clear diction and enunciation, and I believe is indeed endowed with the ability to speak the words in the right second of time. So I believe this is my report for the day and for the meeting. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Meenal. Now I call upon Grammarian, Toastmaster Saurabh, to give his report. Over to you, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you, General Evaluator. It was pleasure listening to you all. I really found I found good use of language. Toastmaster Ravi used the word intrinsic and delegation, which really helped us to communicate what he wanted to say. And there can be improvement. Somebody used the word very sure. It can be just as sure. And when it comes to word of the day, I tried to pin in the chat box again and again so that people use it. Nobody used it except me when I used it while explaining the meaning of it. So I just hope in future you use endowed as a word in your future speeches. I'll just pin it again before I log out so you guys can use it in future. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Grammarian Toastmaster Saurabh. So now my report. The meeting started on time. The agenda was shared much before the day. One thing I noticed was this time in the registration, there was an option to choose. From Toastmaster of Vasco Club. So yes, I really appreciate the small efforts and it makes a difference. So kudos to that. Essay was great. Toastmaster Siona, Toastmaster of the day was flawless as usual. I like the way she gave a holistic explanation of Toastmaster to the guest Myron. She explained Toastmaster so well, the entire system very well. Okay. Also, I also noticed that she asked different questions to each player, each minor or major role players. Before the meeting, of course. Like she asked me about discomfort, she asked someone about smile, and someone else about something else, which is great. Toastmaster Siona, your professionalism is seen in all the areas, and there is so much to learn from you. One thing I could recommend is that the activity which you conducted about taking a deep breath and then thinking about your blessing, it's also good. But I would recommend one thing, that activity would have been more effective if you had done it much slower. Like, you had done it with a bit pause, like take a breath, think, or much slower. That's all. I think that activity would have been more effective if you have done it that way. So otherwise, you are good as usual. Okay. Grammarian timer and R counter. You'll explain your roles very well. Okay. One suggestion for grammarian would be, when you're giving the word, it would be really great if you also provide synonyms for rest of us to understand better, because sometimes the word, even if you give an example, we don't really understand that well. But if you provide synonyms, it would be better for us to use it. So that's one suggestion. And I like the fact that you presented the word again and again, and you presented the word even before your role came right in the beginning. So cheers to that. All your report, all of your presented report, your report was quite crisp. Toastmaster Ali wrote, Toastmaster Meenal, and Toastmaster Saurabh. Going to table topic Clifford, I like Toastmaster Clifford. I like that your topics were related to the theme, which is quite rare. Okay, and secondly, I would suggest that I think all of us wait for you to pick us. Like I was waiting for you to pick me for table topics. So instead of asking who wants to volunteer, it's better if you directly start picking names. Because I'm sure somewhere we don't want to come there and volunteer, but we want to take part in table topics. So I think you can try that next time. Okay. But other than that great session, I really like it. It was small and crisp. Then going to Toastmaster Rishabh. Toastmaster Rishabh, your evaluation was to the point. I like that you used CRC method, comment, recommend, comment. And you gave 3 suggestions, which is still fine. 3 recommendations, which is okay. And it went well. Good work. Now, I realized that in our today's meeting, we are missing table topic evaluator, which we usually have. And I think that does give a deeper evaluation on table topics and how the table topics went about. Because we usually have that, we don't have it this time. And yeah, that's one thing which we don't have this time. And I think our Vasco meetings are known for our professionalism, and we are known for our system, the way we go about the meeting, how systematic we are. But today at the beginning, we didn't have an hour counter or something like that. And it's great that Toastmaster Meenal took the role at the last moment. But it would be great if we take care of it next time, that we have everything prepared well in advance. I think that's because Toastmaster Anthony is not there. But even then, this is a suggestion from me. So that's it from my side. But anyway, great meeting. I enjoyed the educational session and everything went very well. Over to you, President Toastmaster Fiona. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shivani. And thank you for making me the president of Vasco Toastmasters Club. Okay. So yes, indeed, we had a very good meeting. It's about 1 hour and 45 minutes, but it's worth it. And you have picked up many, many things and made my life a little better to conclude. What I liked is pick the table topic speaker. If everyone in this room agrees, I think we can make it a rule in Vasco Toastmasters that no matter what, every Toastmaster of Vasco gets an opportunity to speak. So when we ask who's going to take anyone to volunteer, we're wasting a lot of time. And we join Toastmasters, we attend meetings just to better ourselves. So if we don't speak, we are not getting an opportunity to enhance our skills, right? So if everyone agrees, we can take this forward and say, okay, everyone gets an opportunity to speak, right? Okay. The second thing is a table topic evaluator, you said. I think it's up to the president and the entire ExCom and all to decide. But I think if the table topics master himself can do the evaluation, if everyone agrees again. So these 2 things, we will take it up with the president and the ExCom. They can decide what they want to do. But very good suggestion, Toastmaster Shivani. Okay, so we have the winners of the table topics speakers and table topics. Now we need to vote. Sorry, we need to vote for the major role players and the minor role players. Toastmaster Ashley, will you please launch the poll?
Yes, Fiona.
Yeah, and in the meantime, may I request Dr. Pramod to give your feedback if he's still in the room. Is he in the room? Is Dr. Pramod in the room? No? Okay, Akshada, if you have enough bandwidth, you can tell us how you liked today's session. Dr.
Oh, I'm here.
Pramod?
Hello.
Okay.
Dr. Pramod?
Yeah. It's been a very wonderful meeting. Nice to see Meenal after a long time. I recognize Meenal very well. And after many years. And of course, Seona as usual. And it has been a very wonderful meeting. Vasco being a new club, we'll have a lot of opportunities as far as experiences are concerned. And all the speeches, they just enhance. They I love the speeches. Whatever, I have heard many speeches, but there is always new thing to learn.
Yep.
Whether it being a grammarian or our counter, I have forgotten my hours way back. But just to listen speeches is very wonderful experience, and it adds to it your own life. It's an endowment, and it's just pleasant. It's good. And good luck to Vasco Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pramod. I don't think we have Akshada. I think she's dropped off. Okay. So what I would suggest before we close, why don't we share our learnings about the educational session we had from Ravi Teja? Just one liner or 2 lines of whatever you have picked up, put it in the group so that everyone knows what we have taken back from this session. Is that okay? A reaction? Yes, no, sorry, thank you. You can unmute yourself and tell us. What do you all say? What do you all think? I think we are going to teach one another whatever we have taken back from this session today. Okay, that's my suggestion. What do you think, Minal?
I have just one greatest learning, I think, and it's in the title itself, that maximizing your potential lies in your own hands. It's how much you invest is how much you will reap. That's my biggest learning today.
Okay. Yeah, so let's put it in the group so that everyone reads it. So whoever has not attended today also will know what to look forward, like, they will not miss out on not attending, right? Okay, now I have the results with me. The winner of the table topics is, Ashley, will you help me with the, yes, certificates? Toastmaster Rishabh and Toastmaster Akshada. Please put your hands together. The minor role player is Toastmaster Aliro. I don't know in what. Okay, major role player is Toastmaster Clifford and Toastmaster Siona. And the minor role player is Toastmaster Aliro. Please put your hands together. Yes, and what I want to add to this is we have seen that ours is the only club, I think, who gets divided votes, right? It's really nice to see two people getting the same best speaker award, speaker or whatever, role player or major or minor role player. It's really nice. It's very encouraging. Keep doing this. Let many people take more of the awards. Okay. With this, do you all have any other thoughts to share before we close? Please unmute yourself, put on your video. We'll have a group picture. I'm sure Ashley has taken some.
Yes, Siona, I've taken in between. Siona, could you also take one?
Okay, I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, let's have everyone. You should have done this when Ravi was around, no?
Yes, I did that. I have a picture with him.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Please crop Anthony. He was not there. Please
Yeah.
crop Anthony.
Yes, Anthony was not there. So anything that you all want to say here? No, if there's nothing, then we close. Oh, Anthony's there, is it? Oh, I see him. Is that only the picture? Oh, he's there. Anthony, we missed you during the entire session, but I'm sure you were listening to all of us. And yes, we have had a good session. And yeah, so you can conclude now and close. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yes, we can't hear you. Okay. You have some trouble?
Hello,
Yes.
you can hear. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Presiding officer, I request you to please,
Close.
carry and close the meeting, and then we can.
All right. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to be the presiding officer and the Toastmaster of the day. I really thoroughly enjoyed it and looking forward to more sessions with all of you. Let's keep the enthusiasm. Let's keep the positivity. Let's remind ourselves why we have joined. Where are we at this moment? Share our stories and make a difference in someone's life. Be blessed and be a blessing always. Cheers.